All right, here's the second video. When we left off, we had just talked about how these factories right here, you'll see where it says these factories burn fuels like natural gas, coal, and oil. So those are the last three you should have wrote down. The next line says cars and buses that burn gasoline and diesel produce these gases too. So the next two lines right here, we'll see where it says the two blanks, cars and buses. So cars and buses, write that down. And then if you just look at the picture that we have right here, I don't know if you realize it, but this right here is a Volkswagen symbol. Okay, like I told you, Germany makes a lot of cars. Okay, all right, they make a lot of cars, and so they have a lot of car plants. And Volkswagen, which actually it's not supposed to be pronounced Volkswagen because the W in German makes the V sound, so it's actually Volkswagen. So I don't know if you knew that or not, but Volkswagen, that's really how you say it. It's the correct way to say it. So moving on. Acid rain in industry. Germany depends on manufacturing. The country is one of the leading exporters of cars, steel, and chemical products. These industries have mostly coal-burning factories, which we know what coal does. Germans also own more cars than people of most countries do. So they have a lot of cars. Again, you're going to see that. That's another theme. They have a lot of cars. This adds to the acid rain through auto emissions. Okay, and if you know what auto emissions are basically, that's car exhaust. Okay, that's what it is. It's car exhaust. So it's the nasty stuff that comes out of tailpipes or mufflers or whatever you want to call them. It comes out the back of cars. Okay. All right. So if we're looking at our paper, it says the country is one of the leading exporters in what? One of the leading exporters in cars. Okay. Cars. And why? I don't know, but that's just what they're into. A lot of cars. Okay. Cars, comma, steel, comma, and chemical products. Okay. All right. So I know it only has one line right there, but those three things, cars, steel, and chemical products, all go on that one line that comes after the country is one of the leading exporters of. Okay? I know that's weird. I understand that. But that's the way the notes are. Please make sure you write those three things down on that one line. All right, moving on. These industries have mostly coal-burning factories. So mostly coal-burning factories. Okay? Again, write all that on that one line. Okay? The next line down, where it says these industries have mostly, you need to write coal-burning factories. Okay? Write this right here on that line. Coal-burning factories. All right? Germans also own more what? They own more cars. Okay? They own more cars than most people do of other countries. Next line says this adds to acid rain through auto emissions. I told you what auto emissions are. That's exhaust. Okay? But you got to know it both ways. All right, acid rain and the atmosphere. Nature plays a part in the acid rain problem. The toxic smoke from manufacturing plants is carried by air currents to other places before it falls to Earth as acid rain. Germany shares this border with many other countries. So basically what that means is nature is at fault too. Yes, we kind of cause it, but nature makes it worse. Okay? So because the toxic smoke from the factories and the cars, all that stuff, it goes in the air. Well, basically the wind blows it to the trees and the black forest and everything that doesn't need to be hurt by the acid rain. Okay, so the wind moves the clouds. Well, again, yes, that's nature's fault, but that's just nature being nature. Okay. If we look at our blanks, it says what plays. Well, the blank right here, blank is nature. So nature plays a part in the acid rain? The blank, the toxic smoke. Toxic smoke. Okay. And then here we go. Germany shares its what? Borders. Okay. Its borders. Germany is connected to a lot of different countries. Okay. Believe it or not, it is. Okay. It's connected to France. It's connected to Denmark. Connected to Poland. Okay. All right. It shares borders with other countries. And you know how Europe is all right there together. I mean, anything that's going to happen in any other country, it's going to affect everybody. Okay, so that's one reason why Europe is really trying to get better at this whole environment thing. All right, next slide. Because again they share borders with other countries are involved. Okay, so we'll flip over our paper. We're on the back side now. For example, air currents bring the chemical-filled smoke from coal-burning factories in the United Kingdom to Germany. The chemicals fall to the earth in Germany as acid rain. So, we talked about yesterday how the problem with smog in the United Kingdom. Well, that smog is one of the things that will turn into acid rain. And that's kind of where we left off yesterday in our notes. You saw where that smog will cause acid rain. Well, if you look at our little diagram we have here, we'll look at the all the bad stuff going up in the air. The wind blows it, and it goes over to the trees and the lakes. Okay, so you got cars, trucks, factories, all that pushing out this sulfur and nitrogen, all this bad stuff, and it creates the acid rain. The acid rain falls to the trees. Okay. And yes, that does say acid snow, okay? Believe it or not, rain and snow are basically the same thing. One's just colder than the other. So, yes, there is acid snow, okay? So, if we look at where it says, for example, air currents bring the blank, it brings the chemical-filled smoke from where? The next blank, from coal burning factories. Okay, from coal burning factories. All right. Let's see. Next slide. We're going to move on. Germany has been working on the problem of acid rain. Okay, so they're trying to figure it out. They're trying to, come up with solutions. They don't want to be the ones who are kind of hurting the environment, so they're trying to fix things. Industries are using more what? Well, they're using water power. Okay, all right, they're using water power. So that blank is water power. And then the German government has passed laws to reduce emissions, so it reduced, the car exhaust, all right, from automobiles and factories. So if you look at that blank, it says the German government has passed laws to reduce emissions from automobiles and factories. Guys, all this right here needs to be wrote down on that line, okay? All right, that big long line that goes it pretty much goes all the way across the paper, okay? So write all this, okay, starting after the word reduce, write emissions from automobiles and factories, okay? So write all that down, hit pause real quick, and write it for me, okay? All right. Next slide. More solutions. What are they doing to fix this problem? Well, they are building taller buildings with smokestacks that scrub the smoke before it enters the air. So basically, before it goes out into the air, it filters it basically, so where it's not as bad. In 2007, Germany, as a member of the European Union, promised to increase its use of cleaner, renewable energy by 20%. So they are trying to work hard. And that's 2007, guys. That was pretty much almost 10 years ago, okay? So they are fixing the problem. Okay, and by now it's better. Germany's goal is to decrease the use of fossil fuels like coal and oil. It is the leading producer of wind turbines and solar power technology in the world. It is home to the largest wind farm and the largest solar energy plant in the world. Now I can attest to this. When I was over in Denmark, which is right above Germany, I saw all kinds of windmills out there. And we're not talking about little windmills that you see, all in farms here. I'm talking like hundreds of feet high windmills. Like they're huge, okay? And you'll see pictures of them in a second. But let's look back at our notes. If we see where it says they are building taller what? Smokestacks, okay? All right. So building taller smokestacks that scrub, that's the next blank, the smoke before it enters the air. Next line, in blank, in 2007, Germany, as members of the blank European Union, that's the next blank, promised to increase its use of cleaner renewable energy by how much? By blank, which that blank is by 20%. So hit pause and write that stuff down. Let's see. Germany's goal is to decrease the use of fossil fuels by what? Okay, all right. Well, if we look at it, fossil fuels like coal and oil. So on that next line, coal and oil. So like coal and oil. So right after you see the word fuels on your paper, on that line that goes halfway across it, put like coal and oil. Okay. It is the leading producer of wind turbines. So next blank is wind turbines and solar technology. Solar technology in the world. Okay. Some of you may have seen solar technology, basically, and we'll look at the pictures of it, but basically the sun shines down on it, it soaks up the sun's rays, and it uses it as energy, okay? And the last one where it says, it is home to the largest wind farm and the largest solar energy plant in the world, okay? So make sure you get those two down. The last two blanks are wind farm and solar energy. Okay. Now, if we keep looking, you see the wind turbines. All right, there they are. I told you they're ginormous. Okay, and when the wind pushes it, that creates electricity. Okay. There's the solar panels. It soaks up the sun's rays and it creates electricity and it creates energy. All right, that's the last slide. Thanks for following along with me, and thank you for just being awesome, okay? All right, just so you know, hey, come here. You had a guest with you the whole time. This is Atlas. She was here with you, sitting by me, watching me, okay? She's pumped to see everybody. She says, hey, okay? All right, so y'all have a wonderful day. And I'll talk to you later. All right. Be good, be careful, and don't do drugs.